On the Illinois side, couple of guards to highlight: Genesis Bryant, Makaira Cook, among others. On the Iowa side, you think Iowa basketball, you think Caitlin Clark and her very deep supporting cast back at it once again this year.
For the third straight year, by the way, the starting lineup is exactly the same for Iowa, so that experience has been huge.
So much consistency. 80th all-time meeting between Iowa and Illinois is underway here in Champaign.
They didn't know which way they were going.
Well, it's a new year. It's a new start. Early on, you see this defense from Illinois. Probably a lot of people around the country who haven't watched Illinois on TV yet. Shauna Green's mentality: it's defense, it's defense, it's defense. And offensively, they have some extremely talented players as well.
3 different players that average double figures in scoring, which is not something we've seen from the Illini in the past. Everything you know about Illinois in the past, throw it out. This is a brand new program.
Get an early turnover on a travel call here. Speaking of Shauna Green, there is the first-year head coach for the Illini coming over from Dayton, where she was successful to say the least. And you know her well. You're a big fan.
Big fan of Shauna Green, and she understands the Big Ten. She was an assistant coach at Northwestern under head coach Joe McEwen, so she knows what this landscape is like and how you have to work to be successful in this league.
They're going to have to work to guard Caitlin Clark in that beautiful pick-and-roll game early on as Monica Czinano finishes.
So much about Caitlin Clark surrounding her is her scoring ability, but that facilitating piece that she has to her game is what makes her elite.
That's maybe the part that perhaps doesn't get talked about enough. Czinano, the board, she's been excellent on the glass this year. Caitlin Clark averaging about 27 points per game, leading the Big Ten in scoring once again. Her first drive of the day results in a foul call. Let's take a peek at her head coach, Lisa Bluter. On the sideline, of course, a legendary coach in her own right. She's been so good for so many years.
And this year she became the winningest Big Ten regular season wins coaches. Just one of the all-time greats in women's basketball who's really elevated the game.
Always so fun to chat with. Marshall thought about the 3. Instead, it's Clark. That was a deep one. Board to this Illinois team that's been so good on the glass this year. Both of these teams really good rebounding-wise. Nice deflection from Warnock.
Iowa likes to play fast. Illinois has to find a way to slow them down.
Excellent steal there from Gabby Marshall. She struggled offensively this year, but getting it done defensively that time. Czinano couldn't finish with the mid-range jumper. That comes Makaira Cook, who came over from Dayton with Shauna Green. She's leading the team in scoring at 18 points per game this year. Loves to get to the rim. Couldn't quite finish that time on her first attempt. Kenna Warnock coming off 19 points in a win over Purdue the other night.
Illinois has to make sure Czinano does not beat them to the spot down the floor.
That's going to be a matchup to watch. Shauna Green, Illinois head coach, told us that we're a bit undersized today, so they have to be extra disciplined defensively. Adalia McKenzie, she's been an excellent story this year as well, coming off a career-high 26 points against Wisconsin.
McKenzie is just aggressive, getting to the basket. She doesn't pay attention to where the defender is in regards to being afraid of getting blocked. She just focuses on the finish.
Caitlin Clark, her first points of the afternoon. Kendall Bostic, little face-up. Beautiful shot from Bostic.
Bostic's playing with so much confidence. Last year emerged as one of the best rebounders in the league. In fact, she led the Big Ten with 11 boards a game last season. But now she's taking that next step by looking to score more.
That's a really fun matchup between her and Czinano today. Caitlin Clark behind the screen, drills a 3.
I told Coach Green that I've never listened to shots at 9 a.m.
I haven't either. Kendall Bostic off to a nice start in this one, 1-point game.
Illinois trying to get the ball inside early, and that's a great method because you get the ball inside early, the defense has to shift, and you can get more open looks.
Clark shot off the mark there, board ripped away. Now this Illinois team maybe looking to push here. McKenzie found some space. That's a long 2. There's Molly Davis, who you just talked about, coming in to crash the glass. Iowa's missed 6 of their last 8 from the field. This Illinois team has been so good defensively, backing up Shauna Green's philosophies that she carried in on day 1 when she arrived. And now the jumper goes down.
And that's when Illinois is really good, and Shauna Green's been trusted with getting the program back to that national regard.
They're now receiving votes in the coaches poll for the first time since 2010. A win today would surely put them in the top 25, but still a long way to go until they can say that. Up 1 early. They've been good on defense over the last few possessions. However, Monica Czinano has something to say on this end. So Caitlin Clark gets a breather. Of course, Czinano reached the 2,000-point mark for her career, testament to Czinano's hard work throughout her career.
Of course, Coach Bluter's smiling. She's got 2 players on our team with more than 2,000 points in their career.
There's McKenna Warnock. She knocked down 5 threes in that win over Purdue on Thursday. See how Iowa operates without Clark on the floor. Sydney Falter, Illinois native, in now. Gonna travel cold. Caitlin Clark goes off. She comes back on. Kate Martin getting set to check in as well. Jada Peebles in now for Illinois. Here's Cook dashing to the rim. Beautiful drive.
Cook has a quick first step, and if she gets the right angle, boom, she's turning on the jets and she's going.
Czinano looking to go to work at the opposite ends. Then Clark back on the floor. They repost, and Czinano capitalizes. Cook already has 7 points in this one. Bit strong there. Gonna tie up for the rebound. That's something that Shauna Green pointed out earlier. This Iowa team has won 6 straight. Illinois has won 5 straight. Fun matchup on New Year's Day here in Champaign. Most highly anticipated women's basketball game here in Champaign in years. Kate Martin's 3. Book it.
Paint touch to happen just opens things up in the 3-point line for the Hawkeyes.
Their captain, the glue of this group, in the words of Lisa Bluter, Kate Martin is.
She's tough, man. And she used to play football when she was younger, so that's where that toughness comes from. Well, Kate Martin is the niece of Iowa assistant coach Jan Jensen and has just loved Iowa her whole life.
Oh, what a tough drive from Caitlin Clark. Just adding on to that everlasting highlight reel of hers. Acrobatic, athletic. You run out of words to describe Caitlin Clark sometimes. Just incredible what she's done again this year. 3 30-point games, including a 45-point effort against NC State in early December. Picking up right where she left off here in 2023. A travel called. Meanwhile, it's an 8-0 Iowa run. So they have reemerged offensively after Illinois grabbed the momentum for a couple of minutes.
Subbing in for the Illini number 12, Jayla Oden.
Jayla Oden checks in for Illinois. Shot clock is off for Caitlin Clark in Iowa. Iowa's made 4 of their last 5 from the field on this run. Trying to close out the opening quarter on a high note. Gallia McKenzie defending tough here. Now they got Clark bottled up. Ball is loose. And an outstanding defensive possession from the Illini.
I just love that you as a dad, you brought Gianna here today. You brought her to see the UConn ladies on their senior night. You bring your girls to see basketball. Why is that so important to you?
Well, it's important for them to see great basketball. And also just for the women's game in general, it's important to raise awareness about it, to have more women out there playing the game, and it's the future.